Hey, what's up, everybody? Today, we're going to get into something that's always on the political front. It don't matter who's in office, it don't matter if you're Democrat, Republican. This is one of the topics that's always on the forefront: rich versus wealth. Well, it's really not rich versus wealth, it's really, hey, let's just tax the rich. They make too much money, we need to tax the rich. And in the news media, they make the viewers believe that rich and wealth are one and the same person. But in true reality is there's two different people, two different aspects to describe one versus the other. And in this video, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to break up rich versus wealth and what's the difference between the two. And we're going to talk about how rich is one thing, wealth is another, and taxing the rich versus taxing the wealth does not make sense when it's used interchangeably between the two. With all that said, let's get into the process. Let's just get into the crux and the nuance of it. And the reason why I want to get into the crux and the nuance of it is because most people, the average everyday American, is being deceived on purpose. And I want to really hone into the fact of what's the difference between rich and wealth. Now, if you Google the difference between rich and wealth, and I'm going to read it straight verbatim what they say, it says, while both rich and wealthy individuals possess significant wealth, the key difference lies in how they manage and sustain their resources. Rich individuals often have a high income and a lifestyle to match, but their wealth might be tied to a single income source and not necessarily translate into long-term financial security. Wealthy individuals, on the other hand, have built a diversified portfolio of income generating assets and investments that provide them with financial security and independence, often for generations. Now, I know that was a mouthful, but let me break it down to you in a common everyday layman's term. What they're saying is rich people, they work and make an insane amount per hour, per job, whatever. And they make an insane amount of money while they work. So let me give you examples. Professional athletes, high-end lawyers, high-end doctors, news anchors, CEOs that don't own companies. Those are the people that are considered rich. They are working for an obscene amount of money. When the definitions say that it doesn't last generations because they have a job that's paying them this obscene amount of money. That is what rich is. On the news media, they tell you, hey, we need to tax the rich more. Of course, the civilians, the citizens, we're thinking the upper echelon, the multi-billionaires. But no, the people that's going to get taxed more when they raise the tax code are the rich, the ones who work, they just get paid an obscene amount of money. That's what rich is. So if you want to know what rich, look at actors, athletes, high-end doctors, lawyers, and all of the people that fall into that realm. That is what rich is. They make a lot of money, they can spend a lot, but their wealth or their riches only lasts as long as they work. That is what rich is. Wealth, on the other hand, like the definition is saying, I'll read again. Wealthy individuals, on the other hand, have built a diversified portfolio of income generating assets and investments that provide them financial security and independence, often for generations. Notice, in either one of those definitions, it wasn't an income amount. It wasn't a dollar amount. What it is how the money is structured. The rich work for an obscene amount of money. They get paid the obscene amount of money, and then they have the private yachts, they have the jets, they fly private, they got the Bugattis. You always see them on the news and this, and hey, they out with this person, they dating this person. That's what rich looks like. Wealth, on the other hand, again, there is no financial amount that goes with it. What it is a way of life. And what I mean by a way of life is you can be wealthy and I'm explaining what wealthy is, but you can be wealthy if you make $6,000 a month. You can be wealthy at $12,000 a month. You can be wealthy at $50,000 a month. But it's how you obtain that income which makes you wealthy. So in layman's term, what that definition is saying is, again, rich work for the money to get the obscene amount. Wealthy people have other people work to obtain that obscene amount of money. So if my cost of living is $3,000 a month, and then I have other people working and I initially set it up, but it continuously bring me in money after I stop working of $9,000 a month, I am wealthy. That's what it is. So when you hear about real estate investors and they got 100 doors, 1,000 doors, they did the initial work to acquire the doors, but everybody else have to go to work to pay that rent so that these investors can live their life. That is what wealth looks like. That is business creators, the Elon Musk, the Jeff Bezos, the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Larry Ellisons of the world, who create these companies that they did the initial work to set it up and they hire the people to do the work, but they do the work. Their clients have to work to pay them. So when Larry Ellison passed, when Elon Musk passed, when Warren Buffett passed, when all these, Mark Zuckerberg passed, the money will still come into their family estate based off of what they created. That is what wealth is. They are one and two different people. So I don't care how much AI dribble and cross over people and how much he made as a basketball player. When he stopped making money or when he stopped playing, the majority of his money is done being made. Now, if he go blow the money, his family won't have nothing left. That's how it is. But on the inverse, if Elon Musk go sit there and gamble the money that he got in his bank account right now, blow it all, and he die tomorrow, his family will still be taken care of because what he created will still generate money. So there is a big difference between the two. The tax code works different between the two. But the thing that we get lost in, the thing that we do as civilians, the thing that we do as citizens of the nation, we let the media skew us to believe both are one and the same. It's not. I don't understand how Warren Buffett, and I love me some Warren Buffett, I don't understand how Warren Buffett is liked because he said, yeah, we need to pay more, but he's not paying more. But you want to celebrate these athletes, and these athletes are the one that's paying all the taxes. If you want to know, look it up. Warren Buffett makes active income that can be taxed from the government $100,000 a year. So every athlete, every actor, every actress, every lawyer, all of them are making more money than Warren Buffett on a tax basis. But Warren Buffett has more wealth than all of them. Why? Because it's a different category. And it's not about the income you make. It's where the income is derived from. So in this video, that's what I wanted just to break down and let people know. There are nowhere near the same. I can sit here right now and I can do nothing. And then the assets that I've already paid for and I've already bought and I already set up the systems and the processes in place, I can die today and then my family will get paid for generations from the assets with little or no tax. But now if I just moved up the corporate ladder and worked, I'm getting paid $500,000 a year. Once I stop working, the money stops. That is the difference between wealth and rich. I hope I broke that down a little bit better and so people can understand the difference. So when you start hearing people talk about the rich need to pay more, the rich, the athletes, the actresses, the actors, high-end lawyers and all of them, they're already paying over 55% of their income. How much more you want them to pay? Even if you rate it to 99%, the rich will suffer, but the wealth will not, because it's a whole different tax code, a whole different apparatus. And on the next video, I'll break down the apparatus, how those taxes and things are distributed between active income earners and non-active income earners, so you can see the difference and you will realize we're arguing amongst ourselves because the rich and the wealthy know what the heck going on, but the people who don't know, they just don't know. But with all that being said, please like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.